Welcome back, everybody. Silas out here at the junkyard, and I got completely flooded out at the other yard. It's muddy out here too, but at least up here up front where the ground's really hard, I can do a little bit of torch work if nothing else. I wasn't planning on starting on this video until actually a couple days later in the week, but I figured I'll get a head start today and then we'll finish it up later. But first things first, I finally bought a longer hose for this torch. I'm tired of dealing with this little 15-footer, so I went out to Harbor Freight, bought me a 50-footer. I'll get that put on here in just a minute. Then we got these two trucks here. I bought these at an auction. I have the manure spreader sold off of that one over there, and then maybe the rest of the truck sold as well once I get that off of there. And then this truck here, I didn't think anybody's gonna want this old chassis. I mean, it's just old and obsolete, hard to work on, can't get parts for it, kind of rusty anyway. So I'm gonna cut this frame behind the cab. I do have a title for this cab actually, and it's a pretty solid cab really. So I'll try to find a home for that, but like I say, no one's gonna want this back half. It doesn't add any value to the cab, so it's an extra 200, 250 bucks to throw in the iron box. Later in this video, Sean's gonna be coming out, Lep's gonna be out here, and we're gonna process a whole bunch of those trucks that are over yonder. We have to go pick up a semi-trailer, assuming it's not too muddy. And I've got to cut a subframe out of a Chevy truck out back, and I've got a couple old cars that I want to go ahead and finish processing and smash them with the excavator. So stay tuned, lots going on, let's get busy. All right, now I was reading, there's actually a quick trick you can do to change out these hoses, because otherwise you got to do it all the hard way and it takes forever. So I was told that if you take the wrench and you hold it just like this, and you smack it in just the right spot, it automatically disconnects this hose and reconnects the new hose. So let's see if we can do it. Just like that. Perfect. It's already done. It's raining, pouring down rain. I'm soaked. Whew, that was a nice shower. Cooled me down a little bit. Now it's gonna get humid, especially here in judging by the clouds, that sun's gonna pop back out here probably about 20 minutes, and then it's gonna be miserable out here. Let's see if we can drag this out. Okay, doesn't want to cooperate. It wants to flop over forward. Okay. Awkward thing, that's for sure. Let's drag it over here. There it is. Looks pretty good. That'd make a good wall hanger. I really like the color mix that's on that. This one here, that's not the original tailgate, and so I didn't bother cutting it deep like I do sometimes because it'd be kind of hard to make a bench out of this because that tailgate won't fold down. That's I think that's an older or a newer tailgate. I can't tell which, but I think it's older, and they made it to where it just slips in like a board. So I figured that there is just purely a wall hanger. But I had a guy stop out and bought a 64 Chevy truck from me, or his son did, I guess. And then he's also buying this hood, so that worked out pretty good. That came from that auction that I bought all those cars out in western Kansas in Leote. And there was that camper I accidentally bought, and I traded for two hoods. There was the Ford hood that I sold for $400, and then I sold this hood here for $250, which was really cheap. But he's buying a truck from me and a tailgate and maybe some square body parts. So he's buying a lot of stuff, so it works out. I'll just make him a good deal on everything. And then I got this truck in just now. I think this is a 63. I think it's a 63. 62 or 3, somewhere around there. Pretty rusty truck up above the windshield, all rotted out, but it's got pretty good hood on it. So I just sold that white hood, but now I have an orange hood to replace it. So looks like this turn signal's ripped out, but that's workable. It's not rusted out and just a few small dents. These hoods are getting expensive and hard to find. There we go. We got a V8. That's a newer V8. Just a parts truck, nothing great. I figured it was going to be a parts and arts truck when I bought it. Yeah, it's pretty rusty up above. But the floors in this truck really aren't bad, so if somebody wanted to roof swap it, it could be done. The cab corners are, they got a little bit of rust in them. But, you know, somebody could maybe cut the floors out of for patch pans. I mean, there's all sorts of potential here. What we'll probably do is later this week when Sean's here, we'll probably just go ahead and take the cab and front clip off of this truck. I'll save the bed because it's an all steel flatbed that I can use for setting stuff on. And then this chassis, I'll look at the engine once we get it uncovered. If it's just a 305 or if it's stuck or something like that, I'll just leave it there. But if it's anything good, we'll set that aside. But yeah, I'll use this here to throw a bunch of scrap iron in. I started getting rid of some of my motors that are laying around. These motors here, I'll hang on to them for a little while. We've got them all sealed up good to where they can't get water in them. But sitting out, they will draw condensation eventually. So I need to get these all moved inside the building, and so that might be something I work on later this week as well. But I had a bunch of other engines out back that were stuck when we pulled them, and so we never even bothered to try covering them up. We never tried to seal them up or nothing. So I just pulled the carburetors off, laying right here, and they're in that dumpster over there now. That ought to be a fairly heavy dumpster. They keep bringing me the dumb small dumpsters. It's driving me up a wall. I need the 40 or 50 yard dumpsters, and they keep bringing me 20 and 30 yards. But it's a little bit over the top, but it'll be okay. He can throw a strap over it or something. It'll be all right. I have to get the weight in there, so there's not much I can do about it. What else did we throw in there? The Porsche, an old Porsche. We threw in an old MG, some truck axles, couple truck motors, and several truck. I forgot I threw that V8 International in there too. So yeah, there ought to be some decent weight in there. But tomorrow I'm going to be at the other yard. That's a separate video. And then Thursday, as long as everything goes right, we'll be back out here. We'll see you then. And good morning. I am headed back out to my place. I have an insane amount of stuff going on today. I have a guy coming to pick up both of my W motors, my 409 and my 348. I have a guy coming to pick up the 330 Ford engine that's out. I have a guy coming to pick up 3 Ford 9-inch rear ends. I have a guy coming to pick up the 30s Chevy Capital frame. I have a guy coming to pick up the 64 Chevy pickup and a tailgate and a hood. I have a guy bringing a car out. I have to go pick up a semi-trailer, and I've got to load the iron box, assuming they emptied it yesterday like they said they would. And I feel like I'm missing something else that I'm supposed to do today too, but I can't remember what it is right now. It wasn't this busy before, but it got busy in a hurry. Oh, there might be a guy coming to pick up a truck bed. That's right. He said he didn't know if he was going to make it for sure or not, so I guess we'll see. Hey, empty dumpster. All right, and they brought me the big one this time. We're going to pack that puppy full. Here's rear end number 1. He's buying 2 just regular old 80s. I think actually this one here's out of the 70s, but old truck rear ends. And then he's buying 1 narrow late 50s car rear end. Oh, I forgot, I have this cab sold, cab and front clip. He's not coming to get it today, but we're gonna go ahead and hopefully get it popped off the frame today. I think we'll have time. Of course, I left my long chain in the truck, so we're gonna use this short chain. I think I can just snag both rear ends on the spring perch. I think it'll be all right. Let's see here. How am I gonna snag this one? This was above the rear end springs. This one's below the rear end, so this is gonna be a little bit more difficult to get it to snag on. There we go. I'll just loop it up and under like that. That way when I pick up on it, it'll flip the rear end over and it should be snagged on there pretty good. So that ought to get it. I guess we'll find out. So far, so good. Oh yeah. No problem. Still haven't gotten my water pump in for that. I don't know what's going on there. It must be on back order. So we're stuck driving the bouncy loader. I was sure hoping to get that in because that loader there drives so much nicer than this one. This loader's got more power, it lifts more weight, it does all those sort of things better. But man, it's just so insanely jerky and bouncy. That other loader is so much better riding. There we go, the 330 is loaded up, headed out. All right, the rear ends are gone. The 330 is gone. Next up on the list is we got to get this car out of here so I can get to that 348 that's back behind it. And the guy that bought this car was going to come pick it up a few weeks ago, and he ended up buying a different car on the way here. So he paid for this car, said he didn't know when he would pick it up. And I said, man, I need it gone. I'm going to park it outside. And it's kind of a shame. It's been stored inside for many, many years now, but he said park it outside. So that's what we're going to do. That way, once I get that 348 out of here, start lining up motors all through here. I think I can get probably a dozen motors in here pretty easy and still have room down the middle to be able to get the skid steer in here. So I guess let's get this tire aired up. This is the car here that when I drug it out and pushed it back in the last time, I knocked a hole in the oil pan. So Sean came out and put a new oil pan on it. So now I got to put oil and gas in it. This time we'll drive it instead of dragging it. Yeah, the gas pedal was stuck to the floor for some reason. Man, this is such a good driving car. It just cruises right along. Steers easy. Just a good old car. No brakes at all though, so once I get closer to where I'm going, I'm gonna have to slow her way down. Because she rolls easy. I tried not to put too much air in the tire for that reason. That way it's kind of got some natural brakes going on. I'm not even touching the gas pedal right now. She's just going all on her own in first gear. If I was into old cars, I would keep this one for myself. I mean, I'm into old cars, but I mean, if I was into like this type of old car driving around town, this would be a good one to keep, but I'm not. I just assume sell it to somebody that'll do something with it. There we go. I just parked it right there. I'm not using this road right now anyway. Like I say, this thing's super easy to move around once you air up that tire. Now that we have oil and fuel in it, if I need to move it again, we'll hook the battery back up and move it. But I think that's going to be a good spot for it out of the way so it doesn't have any risk of getting damaged. So I'm going to go back up front now and hop in the skid steer and start moving some motors around. All right, the guy just messaged me and said he's going to be here in about 15 minutes to pick up this truck bed. He bought this like over a year ago, and so I am glad to see it leaving. He was going to pick it up before Christmas, not last Christmas, but the Christmas before, so it's actually been a year and a half now. But he is almost here, so we'll grab it out of the way. Boy, it feels good to get rid of this because I really want to get into this area here get rid of that trailer house and open this area up through here really good. Yeah, probably now, I guess. Well, it looks like my Saginaw's leaving today too. Might as well get rid of both of them at the same time. Or both motors and the Saginaw, I mean. That way I don't have to find a place to put it. I don't have to advertise it.
Yeah. Come this way.
Oh yeah, doing good. Doing good. Okay, hold up, and then down. Bingo. All right, we're about to find out if she's in neutral or not. Or not neutral, but if the brakes disengaged. I'm pretty sure they did, because they really sprung. That's awkward pulling a dolly, pulling a trailer. That's a big trailer too. It's got a couple leaks in the roof I'm gonna have to fix, but nothing major. Just some good old, I forget what it's called, but that epoxy stuff you put on the roof of like a camper or whatever, it'll hold for a long time. I just thought I was done getting stuff out of here, but not quite yet. Well, I was gonna pull out behind them, but there's a truck coming, I better not. Bouncy in here. Made it, no problem. Barely even had any traffic. So he's gonna pull it up there out of the way and go ahead and get unhooked from it. I'm gonna get my air compressor, see if I can get the brake disengaged on the bus, because I'm just gonna move a few vehicles. I'm gonna stick this trailer right next to those other trailers for now. But I have to get that bus moved forward to do so. Oh, my phone won't quit ringing. Just non-stop ring, 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 ring. It's the same people over and over again. You think they'd get the hint that if I wanted to answer, I'd answer. They think that they'll be answered for their much calling. Oh, this has this style of thing on it. But I don't have that style of attachment for this compressor, so I'm trying to get this on there. I think I might have that attachment actually connected to a little, like a bladder tank, so maybe I'll have to get that out. I was hoping I could get this to screw on, but the threads haven't been used in a million years, so it's not wanting to cooperate. I'm hoping I can find a home for this engine. This has got the, what is it, the 6 V71 or whatever it's called. All that was wrong with this bus is this gigantic V-drive transmission down here. 2-speed transmission is all these buses have. Of course, back in the 50s, I mean, they weren't going that fast anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But they had it running a few years ago. I tried to sell this bus. I gave it lots of opportunities. I put it on all the bus pages on Facebook. I've had it on my YouTube channel multiple times now, and no interest, so pretty soon in the very near future, she's gonna get the old excavator treatment. Oh, I hear air. Okay, where is it at? I know it's in here somewhere. There it is. Pull to apply. Okay, we got everything moved. I'm gonna see what happens. I don't know if they're disengaged or not. I can't really tell what's going on. He towed it out here, no problem, so I don't know. I should have junked this bus on prices are $300 a ton, but I saved it for that guy and against my better judgment. Oh well, life goes on. That's what I get for saving stuff. No more of that, that's for sure. Nope. It doesn't want to disengage on the brakes. They are stuck tight. We just don't have enough volume and air going to it. Okay. While Sean's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and get this truck out of the way. This is such a good running truck. Man, this truck runs good. 1951 Ford F4. I think I can miss that trailer. Oh yeah, we got her. Once again, no brakes, so you gotta be really careful about how fast you go. There we go. That gets us out of the way. I hope I can find a home for this truck whole, but I have a guy wanting to buy just the cab off of it, so I guess if he buys it, we'll knock her in the head. It's a shame, but I gotta go where the money's at. I'm just worried about snapping a chain, so I thought of this method here. If I grab it at an angle with the loader like this, if I can get that back in to bounce a little bit off the ground, yep, just like that. It'll show that front end forward a little bit, and then obviously it's going crooked, but that's okay because now I can shove it forward and shove the loader forward, and the bus will go forward a little bit as I go forward at the same time. And I'll just work it back and forth like this. Eventually, we'll get it far enough forward. It doesn't have to go far, just enough to squeeze a semi-trailer in over here, so really not that much further, honestly. There we go. I wish I had time to come in here and mow before I shove the trailer in here. As you can see, this hasn't been mowed all year. These weeds are about 8 feet tall, but such is life. Can't do it all. Make me a path with the loader, just like that. Just got to move a couple more vehicles and that trailer will push right in here. There we go. I think it's going to fit right in there. I just got to make sure I don't sideswipe anything. Oh, got to lift it up a little bit. There we go. I think it'll squeeze right in there beside that other trailer and we'll be golden. If somebody will give me directions anyway, because I am 100% blind right now. What you see is what I see. And actually, you can see more than I can see. All right, Sean's gonna start processing that truck right there. And while he's doing that, I'm not sure what he's doing. Oh, he's just moving it forward a little bit, I see. I must have parked it in the mud hole. But anyway, while he's doing that, I'm gonna change the oil in my truck. I keep calling and I can't get a call back on anybody to change my oil in it. And it's kind of crazy. It takes about $70 in supplies if you buy good quality supplies. And it costs you like $250 to get it changed. So that's almost $200 profit. But nobody wants to make $200 for 20 or 30 minutes worth of work, so I guess I'll do it. Only thing is you don't get paid when you work on your own stuff. I know technically you're saving that money, but I don't know, it's just hard for me to do. I think it's the first time I've changed my own oil in probably 15 years, maybe 20 years. It's been a long time, that's for sure. Okay. They say these modern Duramaxes are one of the easiest engines to change the oil on. So we're about to find out. Let me set a timer. I want to time myself and see just how long it takes me to do this. I guess I can show you guys on camera me setting the timer. Let's see here. No, stopwatch. There we go. Okay, start. Let's see how long this takes. Unless I get a phone call and it interrupts me halfway in between. One cool thing is I don't even have to jack this truck up. I set the emergency brake. I think that's all I'm going to have to do. I parked it a little bit of a slope, so when I fill it, I'll have to just put some oil in it and then back up to more level ground because I won't be able to get it accurate sitting on this slope, but it's going to make it a whole lot easier to drain sitting on this slope. There we go. This is the worst part, is getting the oil all over your hand, but what are you going to do? Slimy. I have a bunch of shop towels. Ain't a big deal. Nothing on the end of the magnet. I checked the oil before I drained it, and it's still right up to full, so this thing hasn't used a drop of oil. It's a little bit past, well, it depends on past due. They say you can run these diesels for more miles, but technically we're sitting at like a little over 7,000 miles on this oil change. I usually change it every 5,000, but I slacked a little bit on this one. Man, I hope we got enough room in this pan. I don't know how many quarts is in this pan. They say these engines hold 10 quarts, so it's getting deep. I might have to put the bolt back in. We're getting up to the top. I have another can. I guess I should have brought it with me. Yeah, I had to put the plug back in and go grab the other pan because that in there was right up to the top. It technically is probably a 10 quart pan. So it probably would have barely made it, but man, I wouldn't have been able to move it. The cool thing is because of the clearance of this truck, I can just back my truck up and leave the pans here, and then I can pick them up a little bit easier. I always just take the used oil, put it back in the jugs, mix it in with the other oil we get out of the cars. But technically you can take it out to the landfill if nothing else. They take it for free here. The only thing I don't like about this truck is it's got the sideways oil filter. I hate it when they do that. And let's see how tight it is. I can't quite get both hands on it. Just can't quite do it. Oh man, they made it tight. You're supposed to just hand tighten them. You're not supposed to torque them down, but they always torque them down. Oh, why do they do that? It's so frustrating. Grab it with a rag. Oh man, how tight did they make that thing? Oh, this is why I think I'm just gonna change it myself from now on. No human reason. I'm gonna have to probably do the whole hammer and a screwdriver method. Well, luckily, Sean's here, and he has a pair of filter pliers right here. Put these on there, and there we go, no problem. I need to get me a pair of these, I guess. Whew, it's still tight. How tight did they make that thing? They made it as tight as they could, that's for sure. Let's see, I'm gonna have to drag this pan over just a little bit, or else I'm gonna dump oil all over the place. In fact, I probably should move my camera a little bit. There we go. Let that drain just a little bit. Prime this up just a little bit. Can't put too much because obviously you have to screw it on sideways. Oh, almost forgot. Gotta prime up the seal a little bit. Just rub a little bit of oil on that. That way to prime the surface. Squeeze under here. And so we can get it on there. There we go. Yep, perfect. You just want to tighten this down hand tight. If you have to like grunt to tighten it, it's probably too tight. And of course I left my funnel at home, and it's not like I can run home and get my funnel now, so I made a makeshift funnel out of this water bottle. And what you want to do is cut the bottom, take the lid off, dry it out real good, and you just cut kind of a little semicircle type deal there. And that way when you're holding it like this, you have a place where you can dump the oil. That way you're not trying to dump it in at an angle. Just like this. All right, there's 1 gallon, 1.5 more to go. All right, there we go. That's a little over 9 quarts. I'm sure it's gonna need a little bit more, but I'm sure there's a little bit of oil left in it from when I filled it. And then also, I'm sitting at this weird angle, so I wanna go ahead, put the lid back on it, start it up, back it up on even ground, let it settle for a little bit, and then we'll check it again before we head home. There we go, all in, all done, just under 25 minutes. Crazy to me that they didn't want $180 for 25 minutes worth of work. Now, obviously they have paperwork time and things like that in it too, but still. All right, I guess, let's see where they're at. And I might hop in the skid steer and start putting some engines in the building. You got so many things that need done, but that's kind of neat. That's kind of important, I guess. All right, I think this cab is ready to engage for liftoff. See what happens here. 1972 307 of all things. Check out the spacers. They have 3 spacers in here. Pretty wild. But it turns good, and they said that truck was running when they parked it. It just had lots of other issues, so we're gonna go ahead and save it. And here goes what's left of the Ford truck bed trailer. We'll dump it right in there. Good place for it. Oh no, it fell sideways. Something snagged on the other side of the dumpster and it didn't dump in there right. That's okay, we'll fix it. Well, what in the world's in there? Something's in there all funky. What's going on? Something ain't right. Oh man, I don't know what's going on. Something's all jammed up weird in there. Oh, that car's not in there all the way. The car's in there at an angle. Well, that'll do it. I wish I would have realized that sooner. Well, I poked on it for a minute and got it a little bit better. It's still not perfect, but I think that's as good as I'm gonna get it since I already started loading it now. I'll have to get some heavy stuff to put in this dumpster, or else I'm not going to get any weight in there. Heavy.
I'm like, really? You used to that?
Yeah. There we go. Got that cab set off to the side, got the motor taken out. It's a shame it's a 307. I was sure hoping for a 350. I knew it wasn't the original engine, but such is life. It's kind of a mess out here still. I was hoping to get this a little bit more cleaned up, but the next time I'm out here, I'm going to focus on getting all of these loose cabs, or at least the ones that are sold, moved out back. And like this truck here, I'm just going to take some pictures of it, and then I can take it out back. But I don't want to take it out back until I get pictures of it, because obviously it's 4-foot tall weeds out there. I have a guy says he wants the International, but he didn't give me any money down, so I don't know. I guess I'll go ahead and take pictures of it and take it out back. Yeah, I had a few more things I really needed to get done today, but it's 6 o'clock already, and I have to go take some pictures for a guy I have a truck out back. But on my to-do list in the very near future is we have that steel bed that came off of that 62 or 3. I want to set it over here, and I want to gather up a bunch of, like, there's a bunch of tailgates down here, and there's some doors and some front clips and just cut off nose pieces, some stuff in these weeds. I want to get it all out of these weeds and set on that truck bed, move it somewhere else for now. I want to work my way that direction and get everything in this entire row gone all the way back to the back. And then I can take truck beds like that and start at the back and start setting them here up against each other, the all steel ones, and that way I can take all this stuff and put it back on top of those, and I won't have to deal with the weeds ever again. That way when people come here, they can just drive right in, look at what they want. We can grab it, carry it out along the edge, and put it in their truck. I've got 2 more motors there I got to move inside, and then I've got, let's see here, 2 more motors outside that I need to move inside the building. Then I've got a GMC over here. Hopefully it still turns. I need to get it moved in. I've got a couple 6-cylinders over here I need to get moved in. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know 8. I have another Chevy 6-cylinder way over yonder. I need to get it moved in. I have another GMC out back. That's 9. I think I have another 6-cylinder over here. The Studebaker I'm going to go ahead and junk. Oh yeah, right there it is. So that's 10. I think I have room for 10 motors. There might be another. Yeah, there's another one there. So I have 11 motors. I'm trying to think. I have a couple Ford flatheads too, but man, they're stuck tight. And so if I don't have room to get those inside, I mean, they're already pretty rough anyway, so not a big deal. There's probably another one I'm forgetting somewhere. So you could say a dozen motors. There's a bunch of empty paint cans in there. My trash can's full now, but they're going to empty that next week. And so they get that emptied. I'll be able to go in there, get those paint cans all out of there, throw those in the next trash can. And then after that, I can put motors all along that back wall. I need to get some kitty litter to clean up that oil spill from that Chevy car. Do a little bit more rearranging, and I'll be able to get a dozen motors in there, no problem. When they're on pallets, they take a lot of room, so I want to stop putting them in there on pallets. I'm going to put loose engines in there so I can put them up against each other. There's me some good weight that I can throw in the next dumpster, an old International 6-cylinder in this front axle. Those don't take up much room, so yeah, I'll grab those out of here. But yeah, it feels good to take those motors like that 307, just lift it right off the frame and go put it inside. That building is not 100% waterproof, but it's like 98% waterproof. As long as you still do like a basic waterproofing on the engines, a few little drips aren't going to hurt anything. Eventually I want to build a new building, but to build a building that size new, I mean, even if I build it with no insulation, just basic electricity, I'm still looking at spending pretty good money counting the concrete and everything else. I mean, you're probably looking at about $60,000, and then my property taxes go through the roof too. Where's it at? There it is. I have a guy interested in this 78 or 79. I guess it's a 79. Before we leave those engines sitting outside, and yeah, we'd take some rubber, like off of an inner tube or something like that, and we would wrap it around the carburetor and then clamp it on there to where no water could get in there. And any openings at all, we would cover up to where no water could get in them, but still sitting outside like that, they just draw moisture really, really easy, and they'll stick really quick. Oh, stickers. If you ever come out here to get something from me, and you want to look around, make sure you wear appropriate clothing. If you don't have jeans and boots or at least some sort of heavy duty shoes on, you're probably not going to like it out here because it's stickers everywhere. But yeah, lots of big stuff happening out here. Making progress finally. It's slow, but sure. I wish I could just snap my fingers and it be done instantly, but there for a long time, I would only come out here once every few weeks. I mean, honestly, it's probably it would take me a solid day of nothing but working on this, because I'd like to get it from all the way from over there by the building, all the way over here into this area, all this cleaned up and put onto truck beds, put inside the semi-trailers if it needs to go in, just organized. There's a lot of scrap in here too, but the chances of me getting a full day to dedicate to that are pretty slim. But we just keep biting off one bite at a time, and eventually it'll be done. In addition to that, I've got to stay on top of what keeps coming in, so that's what makes it harder. It's like I've got all these trucks out here. I had this cleaned up pretty good, and now there's more out here. And like today, we had to go get that semi-trailer and make a place to put it, so that was an hour of the day right there. And then like that truck that we just pulled the cab off of, that's one that just came in. But we're doing it. We're getting her done. I didn't get the iron box loaded. That's one thing I really wanted to do today. I may try to run out here tomorrow and finish loading that. All right, so I'm actually adding this part of the video into the video the next day. I plan on being out at the other yard working today on getting the road open, but none of that happened because my dad bought a whole bunch of cars this morning. He needed help hauling them, so I did that. And then a guy gave me a phone call, and I guess it's over here. I don't know why I walked over there. But he just bought that 409 and that 348. He gets them home, and a couple of the valves are gone off of the 409, and he already had it sold, and the guy that he was selling it to backed out, and so he called me up late last night, said he wanted his money back, and I almost just told him no, but then I went ahead and said I guess. So I gave him his money back for the 348. He wanted to keep the 348, but he only wanted to give me a few $100 for it. I said, nah, we're not doing that. I said, just bring them both back, I'll give all your money back. And so he brought them both back. The 409's laying over there. I actually already have a home. This one's actually sold and paid for. The 348 is. I sold it for $200 more than I sold it to the first guy, so it worked out. And then that engine over there, I sold for $100 less than I sold it to the first guy for. So in the end, I end up actually making an extra $100, which I figure covers my time of having to load them yesterday and then come unload them today. Frustrating to be sure. But I just drug this Chevy around where he can get it. He's gonna come pick that up over the weekend. And while I was here, I went ahead and finished loading the container over there. I had that truck that was sitting over yonder, that one that had the, I don't know, some sort of grain bed on the back of it. There was no cab on it and it was all smashed up. I had to pull the outer wheels off, but it actually fit right in there, about perfect. So that got that dumpster loaded. And then I did a whole bunch of reorganizing over here. I mean, I did a ton of work this afternoon. I didn't film any of it. I was just not in the mood really to film. I was still kind of frustrated over that motor situation of having to refund the guy, but I don't normally do that. And I've had 4 people in the last week want refunds on stuff. On some of the stuff was even 2 years old that they bought, and they decided they wanted their money back. And I think after this week, I am not doing that anymore. From now on, it's cash and carry. If you send a deposit on something and you decide you don't want to pick it up a year later, tough luck, buttercup. But anyway, here's this area here. I cleaned all this out. This was clear full of stuff. I had metal racks in here. There was a metal table, a bunch of brand new rebar and all that stuff. I took all the racks and table and rebar and stuff and put it on the concrete pad back behind the building so it's out of the weeds. There was that airplane piece in here. I put it back there out of the way. I have a little bit more in this batch of trees here. I'm keeping this yellow thing. There's a little bit of scrap copper wire. There's some more scrap metal down in here, so we'll clean that up next week when we have more time. And then I took all the vehicles that were here around this out, and I drove the loader around in circles and smashed all the weeds down. That way it looks a whole lot better. I think I have the cab sold off of this truck and that truck. He's supposed to call me tomorrow. Then I came in here and I took the bus and I moved it out a little bit, put my trailer back there out of the way. That way this is out and accessible to where I can get to it with the excavator and smash all that. And then over here I had all those cabs sitting around. I got all the ones that I don't have sold yet or that I'm keeping to cut up or for parts or whatever. I took them all out back. I still have a few noses and some doors and a motor and some other stuff laying here I'll have to clean up later. And then, like I say, I got a lot done. I went over here in this corner and I had that jet ski and I had that piano and I had just a ton of stuff, a bunch of rotted pallets. I stacked all the pallets up. I took everything else out of here, put it where it needed to go. And then I took these 2 cabs that are sold and put them over here out of the way. It just looks a lot better with these sitting up here. Next week, hopefully we're supposed to get a little bit of rain. If it does rain, I'll come out here and get the burn barrel going and bust these pallets up and get them burnt. And then I want to finish cleaning all this stuff up here on this corner and kind of just work my way through here. And I just want to get all this in front of the shop cleaned up. I want to go ahead and finish this, process all these vehicles out here, except for the trailers. The trailers, I don't have anywhere to put those out back yet. We'll work on that a future day, but those aren't going to hurt anything over there in the corner. I just want to get everything else cleaned up. I want to take all that rock in, level it out in the road, get all this around the telephone pole cleaned up. I want to be able to mow this entire field is my goal. If I have 1 or 2 vehicles or cabs sitting out here still, that won't hurt my feelings any, but I want to get 90% of it cleaned up. So anyway, like I say, I didn't record any of this, so I thought I would just edit it back into the video after I'd already finished it out because I didn't know what else to do. I hate to just do this sort of stuff and then not tell you about it. So that way the next time we get out here, you don't see all this done and be like, whoa, what happened? All right, let's get back to the video wherever I decide to put this. But with that, I'm gonna lock the gate, I'm gonna hop in the truck and I'm gonna head home. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Lots of just getting stuff done. I didn't know exactly how it was gonna work out on that semi-trailer, but man, that worked smooth as butter. The only complicated part of that entire job was moving the bus, and that wasn't that complicated really. But I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Remember to get out there, find yourself an adventure. We will see you on the next one. Yeah, not too bad.